How did your high school crush turn out as an adult? Began acting. It's weird, every so often I'll see a commercial or something and be like, oh, hey, I know them. My crush is an incredibly sweet person, so I'm glad. I remember walking up to her and asking if we could talk in private, and she said you can say what you need in front of everyone. Her group of friends were all around. So I asked if she wanted to go on a date. She burst out laughing and said yeah, no. Crap was rough, man. Looked her up last year and she's a cage fighter now. What? I guess she's always been a pro at hurting people for others' entertainment. Mine was my best friend. She turned out to be a pedophile. She always liked younger guys, like when she was 17 she had a 13-year-old boyfriend, which was weird, but we were kids and I didn't think about it much. Turns out she continued to like younger teens as she grew into her 20s and 30s. Whoa. I was a freshman and had a crush on a senior. To add to it, she was a cheerleader and her brother played QB for the football team, and got a college scholarship. She showed up at a football game a couple of years later with a baby in tow. She's married now and back in her hometown. That's about all I know. My only girlfriend in high school was my crush. Her mom banned her from dating me after about a year because my girlfriend admitted to her mom that we were fooling around. This was about 20 years ago. She's still living with her mom, no kids, and as far as I know never again dated seriously after her mom broke us up. Still has the same job from high school too. It's like her mom went way into protective overdrive and my former girlfriend never grew up. F. Yeah, it sucks. Even 20 years later, married with wife and kids, I still think about her on occasion. Weird how a first love keeps popping into your head. They all steal a little real estate in your heart, it's just that you're happier to find some of them there than others. There are 3 women here on my street, they're my neighbors, they don't live on the street, that are old, one in her 50s and the others in their 60s, and never had a partner. 2 of them are sisters and live together, the other lives alone. They all had the same story, their parents were too strict and never let them date anyone. So now they're old and are socially awkward. The sisters never even had a pet before their mom died. Now they have a cute puppy. I find their situation really sad. You should respect your parents, but you shouldn't follow only their will. That's just depressing. It's weird how moms control their daughters like that. The first love of my life broke up with me by phone because her mom, never met me, said she should be single in college. She literally said my mom doesn't think I should date you anymore. She said I need to be single in college and then hung up. Became a professional cheerleader, died of breast cancer at 34. Googling names from high school is crazy. Edit to add, thanks for all the support Reddit family. I'm also surprised how many on here know her, and in a way makes me feel better that such a beautiful girl did make an impact on people's hearts and assured me she is not forgotten. My crush became an NFL cheerleader. Still alive though. And, no, we never dated and she didn't remember me at the class reunion. Nothing personal, mate. High amount of concussions in that sport. She ended up getting knocked up by a freshman shortly after we graduated. A college freshman or a high school freshman? High school. Yikes. Sorry, I'm English so I don't understand the school system ages. What is the age difference? Thank you. It means that the 18-year-old high school graduate had sex with a 14-year-old. Or a really stupid 18-year-old who redid freshman year 4 times. Would he still be considered fresh by that point? To Subway, yes. But not to Jared. 14 or 15-year-old and an 18-year-old. She's still hot, successful and wealthy entrepreneur, and married someone with the same first name as me and who quit his job to brew beer. I crushed on her for a bit, didn't think she was interested so I dated others, then come to find out she crushed on me senior year. I was too dumb and blind. We connected freshman year of college, she wrote me letters, and by the time I wised up she had moved on. No one to blame but myself. What if you built a time machine and went back in time, then changed your last name? F. Ended up committing suicide a few years after high school. She was a teacher and got caught having an affair with a female student. Edit. Reddit is weird as F. Some interesting comments here. Well, this is dark. I briefly worked with mine and didn't realize it was her until I left for another job. She looked almost unrecognizable, but it was 15 years after I last saw her. She's married with a couple of kids now, so pretty standard life, I guess. I don't know about you guys, but I had way too many crushes in high school. Lol, yeah, I read the post title and thought, which one? Well, isn't it obvious? The one that got away. So yeah, all of them then. Yeah, I had a lot of crushes, but the one that stands out was two sisters who both ended up becoming doctors. I did not become a doctor. Well, you could always be a patient, right? Making me wonder what I ever saw in them. I concur. Being young and horny really changes perspectives at the time. My first high school crush who sat next to me in freshman year English was a really cute punk rock girl, and she's gone on to become an incredibly hot fitness model. Jackie was a rich punk rocker, a silver spoon on a paper plate. An insanely talented molecular biology researcher at Boston. And she's still insanely attractive. Edit. It looks like a lot of people feel like they know the same person. It's crazy how many molecular biologists people know. Considering Boston is a hub for life sciences, and that most researchers in the field start out with mol bio, saying, molecular biology researcher at Boston, is essentially the same as programmer in Bay Area? I was about to say the same. Like, I grew up in MA and I know dozens of molecular biologists in Boston, lol. The number of startup pharma companies out there is insane. You made me check, and she is actually a very successful artist and an art teacher at a renowned university in France. She even got decorated for her work, Chevalier des Arts et des Lettres. Edit. Thanks for the attention. I'm not really willing to give much more details. I'm just going to add that she's French and she's not teaching in Paris. Dang, this award in France is kind of a big deal when you're an artist. Probably even a big deal if you aren't. Non-artists get it all the time, it's just a lot harder for artists to get it. Use mine as a paperweight. Dead by 32, drugs. I'm only 8 years out of HS, and with a class of 90, over 10 are dead because of alcohol and drugs. There must be something in the water. Edit. To make it worse, we were the only school for a county the size of Maryland. By the time we graduated, half a dozen died. More just kept dying. More than 10 if you count freak accidents. We really try to die, lol. Class size of 90 with only one school in an area as large as Maryland, so you live way out in the middle of nowhere, eh? My graduating class had nearly 2,000 people. Listening to all those names sucked. Makes sense for other reasons too. Rural areas can have terrible meth problems, or similar. Went on to be a teenage model for hair products, graduated from Yale, toured Europe, opened her own successful ceramics company that is sold worldwide and is often written up in magazines. Makes me feel like crap every time I think of her. Was it really a crush if it doesn't make you feel like crap? Well, if your crush turned out to be a terrible person, you could comfort yourself by saying that you dodged a bullet there. Is it really dodging a bullet when you weren't in the line of fire to begin with? Hey, at least it shows you've got good taste. Hot douche who doesn't really do much except go to the gym. To be fair, that's how he was in high school, I just liked it back then. If you always wanted to date Chip Matthews from high school, you're going to end up on a date with Chip Matthews from high school. So long as he still drives the chipper, I couldn't care less. He still works at the multiplex. He can get you free posters for your room. And can stay out as late as he wants. Found her on Tinder, she said I was hot. Pointed out that I was that loser she used to know in high school. Had a big laugh. Been a little over a year, now we send each other memes and hang out occasionally when the pandemic isn't being a bitch. So you're saying there's a chance? Only if you roll a 20. They both ended up as great guys. One has a huge family and is a minister. The other only has one child and is a college professor. Both married nice people and are happy. They were really good guys in high school and ended up being really good adults. I've got both of them on Facebook and we keep in touch peripherally as we stayed friends over the years. My English teacher still looks fine as F. Mine was ancient back in 1985. If she's still around now, she must be a vampire. God bless you, Mrs. Cunningham, you put up with me, tried your best, and I still turned out crap. Mine was only about 4 years older than me and dropped out halfway during university. My English teacher started working during the 60s and is still working because she loves her job and can't afford to retire. He's doing good for himself. He's grown emotionally, has a seemingly healthy relationship with a longtime girlfriend, and is working healthfully on all his career and personal goals. I hope that if someone ever had a crush on me, this would be their description of my current status, haha. This is wholesome as F. His friend murdered him over a girl. I had a childhood friend, he and I both the same name, so we called each other by first name last name initial, who got killed in a similar situation. He was only 24. It was effing senseless and the kid who killed him is going away for a long time. Was it worth it, buddy? Dude I knew got into a drunken argument with his brother at a family barbecue over a borrowed $20. Obviously there's more going on underneath, but the money was the catalyst. Fight proceeded to the kitchen and the brother was stabbed to death. Guy went to prison for manslaughter where one of his guards was another good friend of mine. Country gang, everyone knows everyone. Overdosed and died last year. I got to see him before he was taken off life support with a really good mutual friend we shared, organ donor too. It was surreal seeing him dwarfed by all these machines. He had one of the largest hearts I've ever come across. Edit. Graduated back in the early 2000s and last year, 2019, WTF is time even anymore? Legit question, can they donate their organs if they overdose? Yes. And with the number of overdoses early on in an addiction, there are a lot of young people with healthy organs but are newly infected with HEP. They are now doing transplants with these organs, then recipients are going through a course of Harvani/etc. Post-transplant to cure the HEP. So there are high-quality organs being used that would previously be tossed. Simple and short answer, yes, it's better than a failing organ and there's always a shortage. It took me by surprise at first because I thought it was an automatic disqualifier. My high school ex randomly sent me a text years after we split up that when I know you don't like metal, but I thought you'd like this, and a link to a clarinet cover of a metal song I played in HS. Little did he know that I hated playing clarinet and I was now a total metalhead. Why does this sound like a rom-com slice of life story? It feels like a great start, but then the plot/interest just falls apart. Unless the rest of the movie is about him catching her clumsy ass falling down. Ah, the circle of life. She ended up dating and marrying the guy who bullied me all through middle school and high school. They seem like a functional family from what I see on social media. You were 2 murders away from being Snape. I've got an address if you want to save the wizarding world. Won't help if you didn't get the secret from the secret keeper. Hedge fund manager with the trophy wife. Does he own the Mets? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.